With Claude Code, you can build pretty much anything, whether it's a mobile app, an AI agent, a website, or a complex 3D animation. Claude Code can do it all. It's the most powerful coding agent ever created, and in this video, I'll show you how to build anything with it, even if you aren't a professional developer. My name is Ondrej, and I've spent well over 300 hours inside of Claude Code. I have 5 developers on my team who use it every day, and together we spent well over $1,000 a month on Claude Code. So I know the tool pretty well. Now, to successfully build anything with Claude Code, there are 4 main pillars. Number 1 is your Claude Code setup. This involves your hooks, your commands, your prompts, your sub-agents, anything you set up to make your Claude Code faster, more powerful, and more reliable. Number 2 is about having a clear idea what is it that you're actually trying to do with Claude Code. The more clarity you have, the better. Pillar number 3 is your skill. How good are you at software development? Do you have a good understanding of computer science? All of these technical skills compound on top of each other. And pillar number 4 is your own prompting and context engineering knowledge. How well can you guide AI tools to do what you want? So these are the 4 pillars that determine somebody who's failing and building complete slop with Claude Code and someone who can use it to build 5 times, 10 times, 20 times faster than he normally would. So now let me show you how to actually become a 10x Claude Code developer. Someone who can use this tool to build pretty much anything. So I'm gonna open an empty project right here, and the fastest way to open Claude Code, Command Escape. Boom. Just like that, Claude Code is open. Now, if you still don't have Claude Code installed, just type in Claude Code into Google, click on the first link and run this command in your terminal. This will install Claude Code globally on your machine. So the very first thing you should do before you do anything with Claude Code is to create the main markdown file. So I'm going to create a new file, name it project description.md. So you can easily reference this one file, and any Claude Code instance will know this is what the project is about, this is what we need to do. Now, if you remember the 4 pillars of Claude Code success, one of them is a clear description of the project, right? What is the main idea that you're trying to build? So let's add that into this markdown file. So here is my idea for this video. Build a simple web-based CRM powered by AI. Basically Cursor, but for CRM. But essentially it's going to have a left side chatbot where you can talk with it, and right side CRM where you can do all of your customer data, sheets, contacts, whatever you would do in a CRM. By the way, another benefit of using Cursor with Claude Code is that you have the Cursor tab. So whenever you're doing your context engineering, Cursor predicts the next word. So this just saves you even more time. All right, so now let me click into Claude Code. I'm going to press Shift Tab to switch the mode to plan mode, and I'm going to say read project description. I'm going to tag the file and help me think through what the ideal tech stack should be. This should be a quick and dirty prototype. And make sure to end your prompts with think hard, answer in short. This actually directly impacts the reasoning effort of Claude Code agents. Later, I'll show you how to automate that so you don't have to type it always. And actually, the way to do it is with your own custom Claude Code setup. And there is a reason I put it in number 1. Because this is the difference between people who use Claude Code casually, right? And people who use it all day to ship things way faster. I'm talking about production-ready code, not some vibe coded slop. Now, since I already have my own optimized setup from using Claude Code for hundreds of hours, I'm going to utilize that and say, create a new .claude folder in our root, and inside copy the contents of this .claude folder. So I'm using Claude Code to copy over my entire setup from my main repo, which again, I've spent so much time optimizing for efficiency, for reliability, for consistency. All right, let's approve this command to create the .claude folder. And this is really the main folder where everything from Claude Code lives. Boom, there we go. So we have my hooks, my commands, and my sub-agents. By the way, if you want me to make you a custom personalized Claude Code setup that involves hooks, commands, prompts, sub-agents, everything you need to be a top 1% Claude Code user, then pay attention, because during the month of August, we're running a special offer inside of the new society. Anyone who joins the new society will receive their own personalized Claude Code setup. All you need to do is tell me what you want to build, what use case or goal you have, and you will get your own Claude Code folder with everything inside. Plus, inside of the new society, we do multiple calls a week where you can talk to me or my developers directly. And on top of all of that, we offer unlimited technical support. So if you get stuck on anything, we will help you out. However, this offer is only available during August. So if you want me to make your own Claude Code setup, make sure to join the new society. It's going to be the first link below the video. Anyways, back to Claude Code. Let's see what it cooked up. Again, we were in plan mode here, so I asked it about the tech stack. So let's see what it suggested, right? And this is one of the most important decisions. So it says Next.js, Tailwind, Supabase, and then OpenAI for the model and Vercel AI SDK. So this is interesting. This is going to have natural synergy with Next.js because obviously that's developed by Vercel. So this will simplify the tech stack quite a bit. Obviously, if you're building some kernel or operating system, you wouldn't go with this tech stack. But I was very clear that we're building a quick and dirty prototype, which is basically an MVP, right? So we want to use a tech stack to support that. If you're building something that once it goes into production, it needs to work for 30 plus years, then you should probably use a lower level language like C, and you should probably think hard about the architecture. But if you're building a side project that you don't know if it's going to continue, you don't know if it's going to work, use a tech stack like this one that allows you to work fast. So actually, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say, looks good. Document this tech stack decision in the core.md file. And this is the core importance. Using this file to build up the understanding of the project, to add core details, right? And again, this is the whole purpose of this main markdown file, to build understanding of the project, keep extending it, and anytime you can tag it, anyone, whether it's a human developer or an AI agent, knows, okay, this is what the project does, these are the core features, this is the tech stack, and here is the time frame, here are the resources that the user has. So just tagging a single file allows the LLM to understand everything it needs to make meaningful work. So if we open up this file a bit more, you can see that Claude Code has documented the tech stack in a nice and concise way. By the way, a quick pro tip, every single morning what you should do is open up the global terminal on your computer and type in Claude update. This will ensure that you have the latest and greatest version of Claude Code, because this tool keeps evolving nearly every single day. Sometimes they do multiple updates a day. It's pretty impressive what Anthropic is doing, but just to make sure you have the latest version of Claude Code, type in Claude update into your root terminal and run it every single morning. Now, one thing you might notice is that when I'm switching between these modes, the model I'm using is changing, right? So maybe thinking, how are you doing that, David? This is some sort of magic. Actually, it's not. This is a new feature inside of the latest Claude Code update. That's what you need to upgrade. That automatically switches the model based on the mode, right? So as I said, Shift Tab is perhaps the most important keyboard shortcut inside of Claude Code. It allows you to switch between the three modes. The default mode, the auto accept, and the plan mode. The main two modes are the accept. So this is the kind of the YOLO mode, right? Where Claude Code just does the edits, doesn't care, works fast. Plan mode is the one you should start with. It's the one where you need to gain clarity about your project and where you really need to squeeze the maximum performance of the model. So that's why this new option, when you type in /model, is super useful, and it's called Opus Plan Mode. This means that it uses Opus 4.1, the latest model from Anthropic, only in plan mode. Why? Because this consumes your credits way faster, right? So basically what you should be selecting is Opus Plan Mode. It just simplifies your decision making. You don't have to worry about it. You have Opus in the plan mode. If you switch to auto accept mode, you have Sonnet 4. Now, if you're wondering, David, how is it showing the model and the Git branch and the time? This is actually a status line. This is another new feature. If you type in /status line, you can have Claude Code set up custom status lines, right? So some people want to know how much they spend. You can use packages like CC usage for that. But whatever you want to see, I think the model is the most important and the branch. But whatever you want to see, whatever you want to have knowledge of, you can set it up as a permanent status line to be shown below your Claude Code input field at all times. All right, so once you know your tech stack, the next decision should be the code-based structure. So again, I'm going to switch to plan mode and I'm going to speak out my prompt. Help me design the ideal code-based structure for this project. Again, it should be a quick and dirty prototype, aka a simple MVP. Take a deep breath and make sure to ultra think about this like a world-class engineer would. Boom, there it is. So we're getting this error, and I think that's because we have spaces in my directory. That's a common thing. You shouldn't have spaces in your folder names or file names to avoid errors like this. So this is where I'm going to show you how you can use cursor plus Claude Code together. So I'm going to tag the file, fix settings.json, boom, and actually I have a second one, settings.local.json. This one should not be in a git ignore, so right now we haven't set up a Git project yet, but the difference is that one you can have personally and one with your team. That way you keep them separate, right? But anyways, I'm going to give a description of the error to cursor. I'm going to say, do not do anything else, just fix this. Now, as far as the model, you can use either GPT-5 or Gemini 2.5 Pro. Both are fine. I mean, this is a pretty simple operation. Personally, I like to use Gemini 2.5 Pro. I think it's very underrated. And I like to use GPT. Oh, okay, I'm going to save this for the next video because a lot of you guys have been asking for a dedicated video comparing Claude Code to GPT-5. So I'm probably going to make a video on that. Most of GPT-5 versions are complete trash, but there is one that's amazing that I use every single day. So that should be the next video. So if you don't want to miss that, make sure to subscribe. Subscribing is completely free. Just go below the video, click subscribe. Takes 2 seconds. Appreciate it. So this should fix the issue with our Claude Code hooks because of the file location. Let me see if this fixed it. I'm going to copy the prompt. I'm going to open new Claude Code. Boom, there we go. And I'm going to send it again. And we didn't get the bug, so that's amazing. So now I'm going to click close others. This is what I use all the time. Close all the other Claude Code instances. And then we can close the cursor chat. Anyways, now Opus 4.1, the most powerful software engineering model, is thinking how can we design a simple and clean code base for this project, right? And again, notice that I haven't rushed into it. This is what a lot of beginners do. They just want to get, the agent to writing lines of code as fast as possible. That's a huge mistake. The more time you spend upfront, the faster you can execute after. So if you actually properly plan out the code base, choose the right tech stack, think about what are the primitives, what are the core objects, what are the core features of this project, you'll be able to move so much faster than if you just, act like a vibe coder and jump right into it. So don't do that. All right, let's see what Opus is suggesting. Okay, so we have a main root project folder. This is what we have. Then app, components, lib, hooks, store types. Okay, I think this is pretty solid, but we can make it even simpler. So I'm going to say, looks good. Whoever, make it even simpler. And then I'm going to use -d. If you don't know what -d is, well, it's because it doesn't mean anything unless you have my custom hook. So this is the hook, append default. And anytime I end a prompt with -d, it appends this, right? So earlier I explained if you add think harder, it increases the reasoning effort of Claude Code. If you add answer in short, obviously it makes it less verbose. It makes it give concise answers. So this is personally my favorite prompt. And then keep it simple, this is just general, right? So this hook is something that I found myself adding at the end of 90% of prompts I was sending. So I just turned it into a hook, and all I have to do is do -d, and it gets automatically appended after every single prompt I send into Claude Code, forcing it to think hard and give me short answers. And again, stuff like this adds up, right? Maybe this doesn't save me multiple hours, but it saves me 20 seconds there, 30 seconds here. And if I do that every single day for months, I gain an unfair advantage over people who do not have any custom hooks. Okay, so here's our simplified code base. Looks much better, so I'm going to approve it, which then switches us into auto accept mode, switching the model to Sonnet 4. And that's perfectly fine because not only is it 5 times cheaper, but it's also faster. All right, next, Claude Code wants to create the Next.js app, so let's allow that. By the way, you should always read what it wants to do. ESLint, okay, so yeah, luckily we don't have to decide all the details. Claude Code overtook that. But basically, anytime Claude tries running sensitive commands, such as here, creating a new directory, it gives you 3 main options. If you want to proceed, yes. Yes, and don't ask. So this will actually add it to the settings.json, or no. So for this command, since it's a pretty safe command, I can give it the permission to just run it every time without asking, hey, David, can I run it? And that's how you build your settings.json, right? You're going to see all of these commands. I gave it permission to run. Now, while Claude Code is cooking, let me explain 2 more essential commands. /clear. This completely resets the conversation history and frees up the context window. You want to do this when you're switching topics, when you're switching to a completely unrelated part of the code base, or maybe even different project. You want to do /clear, so to avoid context rot. However, perhaps more often you will use /compact. /compact is another context engineering command that allows you to summarize whatever history you have. So let's say you have 100,000 tokens, it summarizes it maybe to like 5,000 or 10,000. That way you can keep working on the same thing without losing essential context. Now, in theory, you don't have to worry about either of these because Claude Code automatically runs autocompact when it reaches the limit. So when it reaches the 200,000 tokens, it will autocompact because obviously it cannot go beyond its context window. But sometimes it's good to do /compact when you start to notice like, okay, there's been some unrelated info, we want to summarize it so we don't poison the context window with unnecessary stuff. Now, while I was explaining this, Claude Code is already hard at work designing the AI module. So this is the file interacting with OpenAI and Anthropic. We have the database, so we're using Supabase.js. We have some of the types here. It's set up shadcn, so that's for components, for UI. And we already have the Next.js project set up, so it's right here. Yeah, Claude Code is doing a lot here. And the reason that it can execute fast is because we gave it a clear description of what project we want to do. We decided the tech stack, and we decided the code-based architecture. And by the way, that's something we should add to our MD file. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this and just add it there. Boom. At the bottom of the file, right below the tech stack. And what we should do is we should actually wrap the tech stack inside of XML tags. Boom, boom, boom. I'm just pressing tab. This is the power of cursor. And then I'm going to paste in the simplifies MV structure. And I'm going to highlight it all and format it nicely with inline editor. Clean up the formatting. Do not change anything. Boom. So this will nicely format it so that it fits the structure of the markdown. There we go. We can accept this. And now save. Okay, let's see what cursor tab is suggesting. Hopefully adding the XML tags here. File structure. Boom. Boom, let's wrap it. Anyways, let's see where Claude Code is at. It's been doing a lot. So the project structure looks complete. Basically, it did like 80% of things. We just need to provide it with the stuff it cannot do itself and then decide on the database tables. All right, so type in Anthropic console into Google, click on the first link, then log in with your Anthropic account. On the left, click on API keys, then again API keys. If you don't have any, don't worry, just go top right, click on create key. Let me select the Vectel workspace. I'm gonna name it Claude Code Demo, add, copy this key. Now, do not share your API keys with anybody. I'm going to delete mine before uploading this video. Let me jump back into Cursor. I'm going to tell Claude Code to create the env file in the right location and pre-fill the Anthropic API key. So obviously, we need to paste in the actual value, right? But this will just save a bit of time, so I don't have to type out everything. Okay, there it is on the right. So we will use Anthropic. Let me replace this. Boom. Okay, so these are super-based stuff. But I'm going to say, let's not use OpenAI for now. Let's switch all of our AI functionality to only use Anthropic API. And I'm going to switch to plot mode. The fewer lines of code changed, the better. I'm going to do my -d hook, which is, again, think hard, answer in short, keep it simple. In the meantime, I'm going to switch back to the browser, open Perplexity. I'm going to say, give me the latest documentation about how to use the Anthropic API. And actually, let's see. So we need the JavaScript setup, I think, and TypeScript. Okay, yeah. In JavaScript or TypeScript, I'm going to do the deep research mode. So while this is, okay, we can accept Claude Code doing this. I'll say, be detailed and thorough. Tell me everything I need to know about getting AI chat completions with the Anthropic API, okay? Let's run that. That's going to be a deep research on this. It's going to check like 30, 40, 50 different sources to give us the latest docs. Because the problem with using Claude Code or any AI tool, the LLMs, the large language models, they have a knowledge cutoff, right? They only know information up to a certain date because they have to be trained. If you train a model, you have to feed it the data. But that means you cannot feed it everything. So here, for example, it was showing GPT 3.5 Turbo, right? It's terrible. Like, you would never use this model. It's like ancient. Same with Claude 3 Haiku. So that is the problem of using the models without web search. So combination of Claude Code and Perplexity is really OP. And by the way, that's why we built Perplexity into Vectel. So inside of Vectel, you have Perplexity Pro built in, just a side note. But yeah, using these two tools together is really OP, especially when you're doing something with the latest documentation or packages or libraries that might be updated. You absolutely always should do a Perplexity deep research. Copy the output, just like this, boom, copy. I'm going to say docs, paste it in, again, wrapping it in XML tags, docs, and I'll say above are the official Anthropic docs. Are we following these docs properly, or are we using the Vercel AI SDK? If that's the case, I'm going to do another web search. Wait, actually, I should probably check. Oh yeah, so we are using the Vercel AI SDK. So these Anthropic docs might not be exactly relevant. Let's see. In the meantime, I can run the same query. So let me just run the same query. Boom, let me copy this, new. I'm going to say Anthropic models through the Vercel AI SDK, which will be obviously JavaScript, TypeScript. AI chat completions with the Anthropic models through Vercel AI SDK. So while Claude Code is responding, we're going to run this. Let's go to the bottom. Let's see what's happening. Okay, so I'm going to ask, so the docs I pasted are not really relevant, or are they? Answer, okay, boom. Think hard, answer is short. I just want a clear response. Sometimes it does this like, it creates a plan when it shouldn't. Like here, I don't want any plan. That is the downside of Claude Code. In the meantime, Perplexity DB Research is generating the Vercel AI SDK docs, not directly relevant. Okay, so that's fine. I'm just gonna correct that with the latest documentation of this one. So I'm gonna say Vercel, boom, paste it in. Your task is to deeply investigate our code, figure out whether we are following the docs properly. And I'm gonna do answer in short, -u. -u is another hook. Let me show you. This is the ultra thing. So this is the most powerful version of thinking, of reasoning effort for Claude Code, is to say ultra thing. So what this does, anytime I end my prompt with -u, it appends this. Use the maximum amount of ultrafink, take all the time you need. It's much better if you do too much research and thinking than not enough. So you'll notice, boom, you can see how much Claude Code is thinking if I use that hook. So that's really good for squeezing the maximum performance out of Claude Code. All right, so it is running to check if you're using the latest docs correctly. Now maybe I can show you how to create your own commands, right? So in the .claude folder, you have the commands subfolder. And in here you can see a bunch of different markdown files. And all of them are pretty simple. For example, we can do like create PR, create a pull request, and it's basically a prompt. This is a set of instructions you want Claude Code to follow. The only, tricky thing is the arguments. So this is the stuff you provide after the command. So if I do /create PR, here I can provide the arguments after, right? So here I put it as a branch, but honestly it doesn't matter. This could be like a custom prompt. Claude Code is smart enough to follow it, and then it follows these steps. This is for the repetitive actions you might doing, right? You can see the commands I have: explain pull request, create PR, file review, header comments, push to GitHub, refactor security. And honestly, I would add way more. Like this is just the beginning. Like my Claude Code setup is literally improving every single week. And that's another benefit of being in the new society, because I'm always sharing the latest and greatest practices. Anyways, let's see the outcome here. So we're using multiple issues, right? I'll say, good. Now let's fix all of these issues like a senior developer would. The fewer lines of code changed, the better. Do not do anything else, -d. Yeah, so this is the issue if you just use Claude Code without any grounding in reality, right? You need to make sure, by the way, Claude Code has a web search, but it's not as good as Perplexity. So you need to make sure anytime you're implementing something that you go with the latest documentation to not run into any issues, right? So all you need to do is to create your own commands. It's literally simple. You create a new markdown file right here, boom, new file. Maybe this could be like a folder restructure or whatever type of workflow or process or set of actions you find yourself doing, or set of prompts, series of prompts you find yourself sending to Claude Code. Just create a new markdown file, boom, and .md, and put in the instructions in here. And then you can just do /folder restructure, and it will call that file into Claude Code following the instructions. And if you put the arguments, $arguments, you can insert any custom variables after the main command, so /file review, boom, and this will be the path to that file. And whatever you find yourself repeating, there's no need to do that. You can just create a new command for it, and that's an entire workflow, list of steps that Claude Code will execute, speeding you up even more. All right, so it seems like Claude Code has fixed all of the issues we had. So we did put in the env key, so I'm going to ask, great work. I did update the env file by adding the actual Anthropic API key. What remains for me to test our app? Maybe we need the Supabase stuff as well, but maybe we can do that with like SQLite or something. All right, I'm gonna reject this plan. I'm gonna say, let's go with a simpler way. Can we just use SQLite for this? Again, it's a quick and dirty prototype. So I could set up Supabase, but honestly for this, I don't think we even need a Postgres. Let's see. And this is why it helps having some knowledge of just basic technical knowledge, right? Different database types, different frameworks, different programming languages. Let's see. Okay, so seems like Claude Code agrees. This would actually simplify things a lot. Yeah, so that's good. So since we're using these two packages, I'm gonna do another Perplexity search for them. Boom, give me the latest documentation for using these packages or libraries, whatever. And I'm gonna say specifically how to integrate them into a full stack AI web app in JavaScript and TypeScript. Be detailed. Boom, that's running. So we need to uninstall Supabase.js package. Let's confirm that. So this is npm uninstall is probably something you should not add to your allow list because it's a risky package, So you really want to be careful how you curate your .claude folder, your Claude Code setup. If you add the wrong commands to your allow list, maybe you can go faster, but then Claude Code uninstalls serious important dependency, and again, you waste an hour. So this is why setting up your Claude Code correctly is essential. And even though I have hundreds of hours in it, I still improve my setup every single week. Because you can never have enough, automations or enough commands or enough hooks or enough prompt templates. You always find yourself, like the moment you see like, okay, I've used this prompt already 4 times in the past, boom, turn it into a hook or turn it into a command, turn it into a sub-agent. Anytime you find yourself repeating the same workflow, same list of steps, it's time to automate that, to templatize that, and allowing you to move even faster, and especially if you have a team, right? Because then you can share prompts. One person finds a really sick prompt and shares it with everybody else. One person creates a nice hook, shares it with others. That's how you can compete with big companies. You become an AI-first team. If you're an AI-first developer, you can absolutely outcompete anybody, even people who have way more years of experience. So let's see. We have successfully switched to SQLite, removed Supabase, added SQLite, rewrote, okay. So now I'm just gonna double check this. And this is why sometimes going slow is the move, doing extra deep research to double check this. So I'm gonna say docs, boom. Here are the latest docs for the packages we are using. Take a deep breath and double check the implementation and tell me, are we following the official documentation or not? Are there any serious issues? Or is it basically correct and we should not overthink this? Think hard, answer in short. Boom, switch to plan mode, shift tab. And now we're using Opus 4.1 to ensure that everything's correct. See, like, you can see all the sources at the bottom of the Perplexity search. Here, did further one. Okay, implementation is basically correct, nice. And by the way, the most important part of my prompt is this. Are there any serious issues, right? Because you can ask the models and they'll always find something that could be more, written more cleanly or documented better, whatever. But then I say, we should not overthink this. So this is like really important prompt engineering. How to actually find serious problems, security flaws or loose circular dependencies or loops or bad time complexity, whatever, something serious that is not just a, spelling issue or suboptimal code, whatever. You get the point. So this prompt is really important. Steal this and use it a lot. Okay, so then I'm gonna press the up arrow a few times. This. I wanted to use the same prompt to see like, okay, is there anything else missing? We've switched to SQLite to simplify our database greatly. Can we test the app? Is there something critical we have to do? Or we need to just run npm run dev. So we need to probably locate the CRM, okay. CRM app, so let's do that. Let's open a new terminal. And again, we can use Claude Code to run it, but it's good to understand the basics of a terminal. So we need to do ls. Here we can see all of the things in the root. Obviously, we want to go into the CRM app folder. So we're going to do cd crm-app. We're here. And then we can do npm run dev from here. There we go. We're on localhost 3000, so let me open that up. And the next thing, okay, so we have error, that's fine. For front-end debugging, I'm going to show you really OP MCP that all of you need to have. MCP server is actually crazy. So before we debug this, let me open the global terminal. And all you need to do is run this command to install the Playwright MCP. Claude MCP add Playwright npx add Playwright /MCP at latest. Playwright is a open source framework from Microsoft for testing front-end, end-to-end, for end-to-end tests, basically interacting with websites programmatically. So we already have this MCP server, so we can close the terminal, and we can test actually inside of Claude Code by doing /MCP. We don't have it. Okay, so maybe I need to install it locally here. Boom. So we do have it now. Let me open new Claude. Again, I should use the command escape, keyboard shortcut, /MCP. Okay, we have Playwright. Amazing. So we will switch to this new window, but whatever. First off, we need to debug this, right? So module not found. You should actually start learning the skill of reading error traces, right? Because it can be kind of lazy just copying stuff and pasting into LLM and say like, okay, explain this error, right? So I can just paste this in and I can do 4 dashes and then do -e. That's another hook I have for explaining error traces. This one is more advanced. And again, this is why you should join the New Society, because during August, we will give you all the hooks, all the commands, all the sub-agents for your specific use case. So maybe you want to build a SaaS, maybe you want to build an agency, whatever you want to do with Claude Code, or just want to become better developers, speed yourself up. Just tell me what's your use case, what's your goal, and we will design a custom Claude Code setup for you, including all the hooks, including the prompts, including the commands, sub-agents, settings.json, everything you need to become a Claude Code power user. So this hook, anytime I end with -e, appends this, right? And we have multiple techniques. We have think harder. So that's like the third level. You have think. If you say think, that's like a low reasoning effort. If you say think hard, that's a medium reasoning effort. If you say think harder, that's high reasoning effort. And if you say ultra think, that's the highest for Claude Code. So you can see, do not jump to conclusions. This is so that it doesn't say, oh, you're right, or I see the issue now, stuff like this. Terrible habit. Hopefully Anthropic fixes this. That's one of the worst parts about Claude models, to be honest. So yeah, this prompt is quite optimized after a lot of testing. Anyways, here, let's see the explanation. Module not found. Okay. AI package doesn't export React path. So here's the plan. I'm going to accept that. And we're going to slowly switch to this new window where we have the MCP for Playwright. We might need it. We might not need it. But this is very OP for debugging front end. Now we have a different build error. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to, again, switch to plan mode to use Opus. I'm going to paste this in, do 4 dashes, and then just dash E. See how much faster I can work with somebody compared to somebody who doesn't have my hook, who has to say like, okay, explain this error to me. What does it say? How can we fix it properly? No, I have this hook. So all I do is dash E, 2 characters, and I have an optimized prompt. So let's see, first, okay, so that should fix this error. And then let's have this Claude Code. So you need to, this is like a skill, developing, understanding where you should switch to new Claude Code, right? So here, we already were chatting for quite a bit. You can see we have lots of messages, and a lot of it is redundant because we were just implementing the fundamental, or not redundant, deprecated, outdated, irrelevant. We were implementing the basics of our code base, right? So now we're going to be more focused on like fixing specific bugs or polishing the UI, stuff like that. So anytime you kind of switch the type of work you're doing, you should switch your Claude Code. Now, you could use /clear to reset the context window, absolutely. The problem is that sometimes the terminal bugs and you still see the older messages, which can be quite annoying. If you're working on the same thing, you should do /compact and continue in the same conversation. Actually, we can probably run /compact here because even though we're not near the limit, we're probably like 60-70%, I would say. We still want to compress a lot of that unnecessary info to avoid context rot. And you can even do /compact and give it an instruction after it, right? So maybe next we're going to do UI changes, remove everything else. So then it would focus on that in the compacting conversation summary. Anyways, what is going on here? What is going on? So FS, let me see. Just getting build error, module not found. What I don't like is that it's doing way too many changes here. Maybe it will fix it. Let's see. Oh, there we go. App is running. This is huge. All right, so let's see what's going on. We did see the UI for a brief second. I mean, what are you doing here? I'm going to say TypeScript error. Okay, so it ran npm ran build. Oh, no. So I'm going to say revert the changes you did after npm run build. So one thing we haven't done here is create a global.claude.md file. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to say create a claude.md file in the root folder. Boom. So again, we can have multiple Claude codes running. So our app used to work. The problem is that there's a Next.js bug. So this is something you will learn as you go. So anyways, here, let me kill this terminal. This is our front of terminal. So I'm going to do Control-C to interrupt it. I'm going to clear and npm run def again. If you do npm run build, it will mess up the server. So you need to just restart it. That's a bug in Next.js. It's nothing to do with our app. Let's see what we have. So we have, okay, we can ignore this. We have a simple UI. Okay, so let me open the Claude MD. So this is going to be instructions about the project, right? And the reason we should have done this earlier is because you can control how Claude Code behaves. So here I can say npm run build. Never ever run npm run build unless the user asks you to do so, okay? And here, again, it started by basically saying similar stuff we have in the project description, but the difference is that this file is, basically Claude Code looks at this file every time, right? So every time you use Claude Code, it looks at claude.md. This is the main system prompt. So you want to keep building this over time and keep extending it. And by the way, as a bonus, I'm just going to throw this into your Claude Code setup. If you join the new society, we will also create a claude.md file optimized and specialized for you. All right, so let's see what happens. I'm going to say the server is running. The server is running. I can see the front end. Tell me how to test it. And we'll do -d. Boom. Let's see what's happening. So try ask, okay, we already have some prompts. Show me all leads, create a new contact. So I'm going to create a new contact as a prompt. Let's see what's happening. We have contacts, we have tasks, leads, contact tasks. Ask me about CRM data. So since we don't have any CRM data, we need to make sure the AI can create CRM data. All right, so This text field is bad because it's light gray on white, so we can barely see it. But that's a small UI change. I'm going to say we need to, first of all, we should probably check the terminal. There's no errors. Okay. I'm going to say we need to make the AI agent in our app work when I say create new contact. Right now, my CRM is empty. So investigate how the AI behaves to create new contacts. And I'm going to say ultra thing basically, -u, invoking our hook. So we have 3 different categories: leads, contacts, tasks. And if you're like, okay, David, but I haven't built a CRM. I don't know how a good CRM should look like. Well, guess what? Neither do I. So what we do is we launch a deep research and say, I'm building an AI-powered CRM. It should be a full stack CRM with all of the main features. However, I will have an AI agent on the left, just like inside of Cursor, that helps me interact with all of the UI elements inside of the CRM. Your task is to find what are the essential features, what are the core functionalities of a CRM app. What is all the things we have to do? What are the main problems people using CRMs are solving? And how can we build them into a simple, clean, and powerful AI-powered CRM app? Give me a detailed spec. So basically, you research, right? What is the target avatar? Like, how does the typical user use a CRM? What problem are they solving with a CRM? What are the core features? What is something that should be in V2? It's very important. If you're building something, what is a V1 feature and what is a V2 feature? You will realize a lot of the stuff you want to add is actually a V2 feature and should not be in the MVP. So again, anytime you're building some project, you need to educate yourself. This is even more important than educating the AI, right? A lot of people talk about context engineering, which is like creating and managing context for the AI agents. But even more important is you yourself, like as the human, understanding what you are building. What is part of the scope, what isn't part of the scope. What is a V1 feature, what is a V2 feature? Like what does the target avatar look like? The typical user of a CRM, what are they using it for, right? How are they using it? Are they using it on a phone or a computer? This is all the things you have to deeply understand as the human, as the founder. And that's why AI, as Balaji says, by the way, shout out to Balaji, watch my podcast, AI is going to make smart people get smarter. But it also will make dumb people get dumber. People who ask Google stupid-ass questions are going to ask it to ChatGPT, and they're going to outsource their thinking. And those people are lost. Those people are completely lost. If you outsource their thinking to AI and you ask even the simplest questions like, what's the next feature I should add? No, you need to make that decision yourself. You need to be in charge of the product, not Claude Code, not ChatGPT. However, if you use it in a clever way, like learning documentation or figuring out what's the best database type for this type of application, or how does the typical customer use my type of product, right? Okay, essential CRM features, contact management. So this is what we need to do. This is what we need to copy, this block. I'm going to add it to our project description MD file. Boom, essential CRM features. I'm going to do a header here. Features, let's wrap that. Amazing. Cursor is saving me massive time. Let's see what's happening here. We don't want to make okay, so it's whatever. We're going to allow Claude Code to do a web search. Even though it's not going to be like a deep research, it's still fine. The problem is clear. They're creating Anthropic client. Chatter they're trying to call, but AI is only client, not a function. Oh, we're using bad model. Okay. Oh no. We want to use Sonnet or Opus. So let's create a new chat here. I'm going to say, what is the official API name of Claude for Sonnet in the Anthropic API when using it via Vercel AI SDK? And then I'm going to use /WS. This is actually a shortcut I have inside of Perplexity that inserts browse the web answer in short. And yeah, because we do not want to use the haiku, that's very outdated. So okay, it's just this. Okay, I'm going to copy that. I'm going to interrupt. I'm going to say, boom, that is the official model name. Use that. I think we're just using an outdated model. That might be one issue. But we will add debug log statements because we will get this running, right? I want to start adding contacts, and I want to make sure we have these core features. So actually what I can do right here is I can go into the other Claude Code, the first one, the old one, and say read project description and tell me whether we have the main CRM features implemented or not. Answer in short and -u to ultra think it. Let's go back to our new one. Let's see what's happening. Yeah, we need to change from Anthropic. Okay, looks good. Claude for Sonnet should be that one. Again, we're going to add a bunch of debug statements so we can see like in the console right here what is going on. And we will use actually Playwright as well to debug the frontend. We had this one. I think we put it in the older Claude Code, so we probably just... We should create a new file. So, okay, I'm going to say create a new /docs folder where we will put the most important documentation for our app, okay? Start by creating just one file named Vercel-SDK, Vercel AI SDK.md. So we will start building internal documentation, and this is important for things that you need to reference often or things that other developers should know. And if you find yourself, copying something multiple times, again, just create a markdown file for it, and you can easily tag that file. So let's see. Okay, we created the docs folder inside right here. It's empty. It will create the Vercel docs. We will just replace it with the perplexity search, deep research output. That way we can tag it at any Claude Code instance, right? So here, boom. It already put it there, but I'm going to just replace it with these sources. And it's already 300 lines of up-to-date documentation. So the beauty of that is I can go here. I'm going to say, okay, it's created a new app. Why did it start a server? So, okay, I'm going to give you a tip. If you do a hashtag, you can add to memory. I'm going to say, do not start any servers unless the user says so. I mean, actually, it's kind of fine because then Claude Code can debug it faster. Whatever. We're going to use 3001. It's fine. I'm gonna instead cancel it out. I'll say read Vercel AI SDK and investigate whether we are following the latest documentation properly. -D, I'm gonna turn this into plan mode. And you can see the one bash running here. This is showing that we have something running. So we have the front end running, and that allows Claude Code to debug it faster. So let me say, create a new contact. This is very bad UI, I'll fix it. Create new contact about a real estate developer, whatever. Send, see what's happening. So it got refreshed, but we didn't get an AI response. So let me open the console. Honestly, we should probably just use the Playwright MCP to save ourselves some time here, because we're debugging this manual way and it's kind of slow. So, okay, we have some conflicting output. Sonnet, okay, whatever. I'm gonna ask it, I want to use Claude for Sonnet through the Vercel AI SDK. What is the proper API name of this model? /WS. We need to double check this. Like this is, we might just open this up to be honest. So let's open up one of these docs, read it. Here it says it's this one, full one. Okay, so yes, this should be good. 2025-05-14, so that is the correct one, so that's good. Let's see what the other Claude Code suggested here on these issues. We say pipeline activity tracking, basic reporting. That's fine. We don't need these. We just need to get the main output working. Like right now, the AI is not generating stuff, and actually, while this guy is not doing anything, I can activate this Claude Code. Say update the UI of the chat so that there is proper contrast when typing some characters. Right now, it's light gray on white, and overall improve the UI of the left side of our app. But don't over-engineer it. The fewer lines of code, the better. Boom, so we can have one Claude Code improving the UI, the other one is fixing the AI functionality. And then I'm going to switch to plan mode here and say, how create new contact, how can I test the create new contact functionality of our app? I want the LLM, I want AI to properly save this into our DB and for me to start using the CRM. So the refresh might be too fast, but even if we reload, we still have no contacts. So then we will have to debug what's happening to that data. All right, so let's accept some of these front-end changes, UI changes. Let's see what's happening here though. So open the app, chat panel, type something command. Okay, so let's test this prompt. Let's see if we even get an AI response. That should be the first thing. And we have the nice contrast now. Beautiful. So we fixed that issue. we're not getting AI response at all. That's a problem. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say use the Playwright MCP to debug the front end. Right now, we are not getting an AI response at all. So when debugging, you want to isolate the bug. Instead of trying to one-shot fix it with AI, you want to get closer to figuring out what it is, right? So a lot of the times, adding debug statements is the move. So I'm going to say, when I send a prompt like, boom, nothing happens. The AI does not respond, and the CRM does not save the contact. Okay? And then I'm going to switch to plan mode and say, your task is to figure out the optimal 3 places where we can add a concise debug log statements so that we can get closer towards fixing the issue. We don't want to try to fix it in one go. We just want to proceed like a senior developer would, strategically isolating the problem by adding debug statements in the most important pieces of code so that we can know when things break down. Take a deep breath and analyze the entire front end and suggest the best 3 or 4 places for us to insert the debug log into. And I'm gonna do answer in short and -u to ultra think this. Let's go back to here. So we need to approve the Playwright. I'm gonna actually add it to our allowed list of commands. So it's gonna open Playwright, boom, there it is. And now AI is gonna interact with our website, right? So we can put this on the side. We can approve some of these commands. Actually, let me switch to auto accept mode. So let's see how Claude Code is going to debug this. Again, I have my hands lifted up. It's all Claude Code. Well, I just need to approve these commands, right? So it wants to click. Boom. So it sent a message. Nothing happened, right? Okay. List network requests. So it's getting some info. Oh, there's an error. Interesting. Issue found. The front-end test reveals a problem. No API call. Ooh, that's really bad. Okay, here's the plan how to debug this. So by adding the Playwright MCP, you can have Claude Code literally interacting with the front end, testing it, sending the prompts itself, clicking buttons, interacting with the UI, and finding and debugging it itself. It's really like the next level of AI. And you see, like, all that you need to do is add a single line for the Playwright MCP. Actually, OP. Oh, we have error, but let's see if, since this is the Playwright instance, Claude Code should find it easily. Navigate to URL, boom, it should notice this error. Let's see. There is import path, okay. It fixed the import path, there we go. So this is beautiful. We're watching an AI agent literally debugging front end in front of our eyes. It typed in the prompt. I'm not typing, guys. It's doing it itself. Okay, type text, Playwright text, click it, and let's see what happened. So now it's listing out the requests, reading all output. Okay, we have another error. Let's see. I see the issue. Error shows the file. This is just allowing you to debug way faster. And again, if you're a professional front-end engineer, maybe you would do it yourself faster, right? Maybe you wouldn't even run into these issues. But for all people who are like junior developers or not even developers, people who are just like, maybe you're an entrepreneur, you want to build an internal software for your team, you can use Claude Code to build anything. I mean, I really believe that. You can do stuff that otherwise would not be possible. This is the biggest power, right? You have like senior developers hating on AI, or it's writing slob, it's not following best practices. Sure, maybe that is the case, but you have also millions of people who would not be able to build software, who now can. And you can use these tools to also debug it, to also run tests, to make your app more secure. It's all about the intentionality, right? If you're a dumbass, you can only use these tools to build quick MVPs and not add any security, not improve your UI, not improve the customer experience, not add observability, track your endpoints, not add any tests. That's your problem. That's because you're not a clever individual. If you are a clever individual, you can use these tools to upskill yourself, to educate yourself. So let's see what's happening. Test the endpoint, cd, curl command. Okay, it looks good. So yeah, if you are an intelligent person, you can use these tools to upskill yourself way faster and achieve things that otherwise you simply could not. Or at least achieve them way faster, right? So it's running some curl commands to test specific parts of the code. Here's the streaming response. All right, so now it's going to run another test. Navigate to URL, there we go. It's going to write the prompt. There it is. As you can see, the text was automatically inserted there. gonna click the send button, reading shell output. We might need to interrupt it here, it's running for a while. Still no API request, front it's not working. Okay. So I'm gonna say, take a deep breath and investigate. Actually, we should probably add these. Okay, so say add them. We should add these debug log statements to see whether we're even, I mean, this is not gonna help it because it seems like the issue is that we're not hitting the API. Investigate why are we not making the API chat request? Where exactly is the issue? And what is the next small step we should take to get closer to solving this? Think like a senior developer would -u. We don't want to like one-shot fix it. We want to get closer. So here we added some console logs. That's going to be valuable either way. That's fine. But the issue is that we're not even hitting the API. We need to get a response from Anthropic. And then we can parse that response to add some contacts. One step at a time. Okay, so Playwright, evaluate JavaScript. Okay, let's see. Interesting Playwright tool right here. Console, let's see what's happening. Is anything happening here? Again, this is like very important to have some logic skills, right? Okay, so Claude Code is also confident that it found the issue. If you have logical skills, you can proceed like, okay, how should we debug this? Okay, first let's make sure the button is working. Is it sending to Anthropic API? Okay, it is. Are we getting response? Okay, are we parsing correctly? What are we doing with that parsed data? You can move way faster if you have the ability to think logically. And again, that's like the core of being a programmer. It's not about memorizing syntax, right? A lot of the people who have been programming for years, the reason why they resist AI because they just memorized a ton of syntax and they created personal attachment to that and they didn't want to let it go. However, the skill set is changing. What is going on? This is going in circles for my taste. Say also add 3 more debug log statements right after clicking the send button. We need to know whether we are even hitting the Anthropic API via Vercel SDK. And I'm going to also say add colorful emojis at the start of each debug statement so that we can easily see them. Yeah, I don't like this. This is going in circles. It's going in a lot of circles. Okay, it says it found the issue, but it said that multiple times already. So let's change the approach. Let's go our own way. So let's go one step at a time. New Claude Code. Move this one to the side. The old one is still pretty good. We're just adding it for debug logs. That's fine. We can close some of these. We're going to use the new one to actually get this up and running. So let's see. Which of the servers do we have running right here? I'm going to kill this. I'm going to restart this. So again, ls cd crm app npm run dev. Okay, so I'm going to ask a very dumb question here. Is npm run dev all that I need to do to launch our app? Or do I have to start another server? Okay, it's a simple question. And this is the benefit of using AI. You can ask many dumb questions without feeling any shame, you know? If you had like imagine learning a new language, right? And you buy a tutor, or like learning programming and you pay a human tutor, human teacher to do lessons, programming lessons. Maybe you ask a question once, twice, maybe 3 times, but then you don't want to seem stupid, right? There's the social dynamic, there's the inter-human personal dynamic that makes it weird. With AI, that's not the case. You can ask 20 times, 30 times, and without any shame, you know, and the AI will happily respond, explain it differently. So yeah, here, this is all we need. So we have our server running here. Let's watch out for errors. And we also have the front-end console. We need to check. We're running on 3000, okay? So we were on the different one. Close some of these. Okay. Create a new contact named John. Send. We've seen some error. Let's open the console here. Hey. Why is it reset? Okay, that's very sketchy. That's very bad for debugging. The whole console resets when I send something. Right now, the whole front-end console resets the moment I send any prompt into the chat window. Investigate why that's happening and think hard about how to fix it. The problem is that we cannot really debug if we don't see the logs, right? So let's see. What should be the first step in us debugging this issue? Give me step by step. Sometimes it can finish it with the playwright, but here it ran into some loops. So it's valuable to also have some script. So okay, we have it. We have tools, go to code step, clear console. So we have the console. It's clear. I mean, it's clearing itself, right? So that's that. Send a message. So let's again click this. Send. The problem is that when I click send, the app reloads and the console resets. This makes debugging very difficult. Okay, we should have this. So here, okay, this one wants to play at MCP. Say, do not use the MCP server. Explain. Instead, investigate the code base to figure out why this is happening and how we can fix it. Okay, -D. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open up cursor on the side with Gemini 2.5 Pro. And again, this is the reason why this is valuable is that, okay, I'm back, is that you can have multiple powerful AI agents working together, right? So I'm going to describe the same issue. Boom. Say, do not do anything yet, just answer. Just analyze the files. Answer in short. Sometimes using a model from different company can be all that's needed to solve it, right? So obviously Claude Code is Anthropic. Sometimes using a Google model like Gemini 2.5 Pro is going to give you a fresh perspective. Sometimes OpenAI model, sometimes XAI model. On the issue form is reloading. Okay, page reload. Okay. Is the Gemini actually reasoning or is it stuck? All right, let's see. So now console shouldn't reset. So I'm going to say, hey, hello. Okay, console did not reset. That's massive progress. I'm going to take a screenshot of this. I'm going to save it to documents. And what you can do is you can drag in files into Claude Code. Hold shift, boom, and say, good. Now the console does not reset. However, we still run into errors. I'm going to -E to explain it. Plan mode to get Opus, the latest model. Okay, so it found the same thing basically. That's fine. Let's put it aside. So it wants to read. I'm going to add this to working directory so you can read screenshots faster. Here, I don't really like we haven't got success with that MCP. Sometimes, like, it can debug it really fast. Sometimes you need to get your hands dirty, is what I'm trying to say. And you shouldn't be afraid of it, right? No matter what bug happens, what error happens, you should not be afraid. You should not take it personally. You can solve it. So let's see. Input is undefined. So we have a handle submit is not a function. Submit. Okay, let's see. Show debug log, right? Okay. So I agree with that. Add the debug log. You can close this for a bit. If you want to have success with Claude Code, again, going back to the 4 pillars, you need to be willing to improve your skill. You can get very far by having the right setup and clear description of the project. And even if you're really good at prompting and context engineering, pillar number 3, you cannot skip. Pillar number 3 is something that takes time to develop, right? Your technical skill set. How good are you at understanding front-end, back-end, APIs, your tech stack, the programming languages you're using, right? And this is really the main thing people want to skip. They want to shortcut it. And obviously, if you already have some programming background, you can move faster with these tools. But if you don't, the beauty is that you can use these tools to develop your skills way faster. So that is the real beauty, and that is where the real challenge, arbitrage, real opportunity is. Using these tools to upskill yourself way faster. So do not be afraid to get your hands dirty, to really learn, okay, what is happening? How do we debug this? How would a senior developer go about debugging this step by step? Try to improve yourself. The more you improve yourself, the faster you can work with Claude Code. That is really the secret. When people ask me, oh, David, what's the secret, right? You've built a successful AI startup that's doing $9,000 in monthly recurring revenue. What is the secret of using AI to build a SaaS? The secret is improving yourself, willing to get your hands dirty, and upskilling yourself every single day with these AI tools. So let's analyze what we have. Use chat. Okay, so just added more console logging. So we're gonna go back and we're gonna proceed. Let's reload the app. Boom. I'm gonna say, hey, let's see what happens. Input value undefined. So again, let's screenshot this whole thing. Save to documents. Boom. Okay, we'll say, here's what happens now. I'm gonna do -E. Switch to plan mode to get Opus maximum power. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, I'm gonna kill this Claude Code, and I'm gonna kill this one as well. Let's clean this up. We don't need some of these. We have this set up. I'm gonna launch a new one. You don't have to worry about this ID disconnect, by the way. So okay, use chat returned. Okay, missing input handle input. The hook is working by returning completely different properties than our code expects. We might have a version mismatch, okay? So I'm gonna say run that npm list command. Save. We can have Claude Code run it. And I'm actually glad that we're running into errors. If it ran on the first try, it would have been boring, right? It might give you the wrong expectations. And then a lot of people would complain, okay, but for David, he didn't run into any issues. You know, what I was building, I didn't run into errors. But the fact that we are having to do some debugging shows you that, you know, it's not a problem. So we have version 2012, like the new version, okay. Tell me what to search on Perplexity to correct the docs. For this, do not do anything, just answer. AI SDK React, okay. We might have some version mismatches. The reason for that is because we ran some Perplexity searches, but for some of them it might not be. Search for, okay. Boom, I'm gonna search this up. Let's try to understand more ourselves, right? So use chat returned these things. So the hook is working, but it's returning different things. So our code is probably not familiar with the new documentation, okay? We check the version. We don't know if this is the latest version, but this is going to be revealed. But we can also do another search, say what is the latest version of this? What is the latest version of package-ws? Boom. Major changes. Okay. So we are using the latest version, but this is going to be important. I'm going to do results, paste in the search results. I'll say, give me a TLDR explanation of the search results. So this is the beauty of using, you know, Perplexity to check 20 different sources. Imagine doing that manually. It would take you 30 minutes. V5, but our code is written for V4. Okay. Say, great find. Let's briefly document this in, I'm going to say project description MD. Just add a very short section about the versions we are using. This is how you need to do context engineering. You need to build your understanding. Anytime you fix an error, anytime you have some issues and you find like there's a version mismatch, whatever, just build on your context files. Write it down. So in the future, you yourself know and the AI agent knows as well. Okay, so I want Claude Code to document this. There we go. Package versions. Let's see, where are we? There we are. So it added this section. And this is how you build your internal documentation, right? Instead of just guessing and running into the same errors, you write it down. You document the most important things and then you proceed. So I'll say, good work. Now implement the fix. So we probably know I'm very confident this will fix the issue because this was a major version mismatch. And again, the AI agent wrote it for V4 because it's in the outdated training data, right? That's why you need to use web search, use tools like Perplexity, Vectel, we have Perplexity Pro built in, to search this up and to double check that you're using the latest documentation. And actually, what we can do, since we're doing a lot of web search, we can create a sub-agent for it. So there's another major thing inside of Claude Code is using sub-agents. So when you type in /agents, we have the attack plan architect, but I'm going to create a new agent. I'm going to put it into the project. I'm going to generate it with Claude, and I'm going to say, this is an expert web researcher that always checks 10 plus different sources to confirm we are using the latest documentation, the correct package versions, or simply following the latest best practices. Okay, enter. Now Claude Code is gonna create a new sub-agent that it can delegate to. So anytime, so if you don't want to switch into Perplexity and just want to stay inside of Claude Code, just build your own sub-agent, right? That is an expert web researcher that knows how to look for docs. And if you want to really do it properly, you can figure out what an expert researcher looks like. So I'm going to say, how does an expert programming researcher use the web? How does a senior developer use web search to solve bugs faster, to find the correct documentation, to learn that he's following the latest best practices? How do 10x engineers use web search tools like Google or like Perplexity, like Stack Overflow, to analyze the web, to get the latest information? How do they write their search queries? Teach me everything about this domain and how senior developers and professional 10x engineers browse the web. So now we will use deep research. This is kind of meta, right? Meta prompting. We're using deep research to figure out, okay, how do expert programmers and senior developers actually browse the web? And we're going to use these instructions to improve our sub-agent. Okay, so we want to give it all the tools, yes. For the model, we probably want to use Sonnet. Actually, let's inherit from parent. What color do we want to use? Blue is good for a researcher. Okay, so this is going to be the prompt. That's fine. Let's create a new agent. And it's already created. Okay. There we go. So we have the web research validator. Look at this. Look at this. So that's really good. Really good already, but we're going to improve it with this deep research, right? So this checked 52 sources. And I'm going to copy this. I'm going to say, your task is to improve, and I'm going to tag the agent, improve the system prompt of our, if I tag it, it's going to delegate to it. That's the problem. Actually, okay, I can tag the file, web search validator, web research validator, research validator sub-agent by improving the prompt engineering based on this info. I'm doing, info, boom, paste in the Perplexity. Do not do anything else. Just greatly improve the system prompt of this sub-agent like a world-class prompt engineer would. Boom. So now we're building specialized sub-agents for different types of actions you might do, right? So let me explain how the difference is between hooks, between commands, and between sub-agents, right? And I guess the easiest way to do that is to jump back into TLDraw, and let me explain this to you, right? So inside of Claude Code, we have sub-agents, we have hooks, we have commands. The purpose of sub-agents is for specialized AI tasks, right? For example, the web search. You need to do it, you need to have it do multiple actions automatically. Hooks, the purpose of hooks is deterministic automation, right? You can see my hooks at the on-prompt submit. So that is deterministic. Anytime I do -d, it appends my default classic prompt. The purpose of commands is shortcuts. Maybe a better way to describe it is like sets of actions that are repetitive, but that don't require like a whole sub-agent for it. You want the main agent to execute it. The difference is that commands are way faster than sub-agents. Sub-agents are actually kind of slow. So the beauty of that is like delegation, right? When you need a separate context window and you don't want to flood it for the main agent, just create a sub-agent, have the main Claude Code agent delegate to that, and continue your conversation. Commands are way faster, sub-agents are slower, but sometimes that's fine because you need a sub-agent to do more work. All right, so let's approve some of these changes. Boom, you can see it's massively rewritten the prompt. And yeah, okay, looks good. Looks good, seems like it has been changed. I don't know what it's kind of confused that it's in plan mode. Okay. I don't know what it's going to do right now. Yeah, it's done, so it doesn't need to do anything else. So now, if we create a new Claude Code, we can actually use the sub-agent, right? And you can tag him. So this is a web. There's this agent web research validator. boom, and he can do web search on specific topics. Let's see what our main Claude Code did. Okay, so it fixed it. While we're creating a sub-agent, let's double check our app is working. Okay. So now it's doing the print statement after every character type. That's not really optimal. Oh wait, we're making serious progress here. We still got some error, but we can see our message here. I mean, we can't really see the text, but we can see something is saved there. Child error, internet server error, use child returned, array messages. Okay. So I'm gonna screenshot this part, and let's continue debugging this. Boom, this is our main Claude, move it to the left. You can terminate this one. By the way, anytime you like make changes to your sub-agents, commands, hooks, you need to create a new Claude Code because it will not have knowledge of that. That's a small pro tip. Boom. Okay, we are making progress. However, we still have errors. Explain what is happening now. -E, boom. And in the meantime, we can probably set up a quick GitHub repo to actually connect this, because we haven't initialized Git here. Okay, so let's see what's happening. Server returns 500, front is fixed, backend API is crashing. Oh, we do have errors. Okay, so let me copy that. So I'm gonna scroll down. I'm gonna say terminal, paste it in. Terminal. Okay, I should not. Okay, I'm gonna reset. You can reset by pressing escape, by the way. That's how you reset your prompt. I should not copy the whole terminal. I should just copy like the latest outputs. Maybe from here. Okay, here. I love this bug here. The classic Claude Code glitch. Here's the terminal output. Give me a TLDR explanation -E. In the meantime, okay, if you've never set up GitHub, right? What you can do is say, your task is to help me connect our project here locally to a new GitHub repo. Tell me step by step how to do this. Okay, so on my second, I can maybe drag it so you can see it. I've created a new empty repo named AI-CRM. I made it public. And we're gonna connect our project locally to a GitHub repository so we can properly do commits and we can do version control, right? Initialize new, okay. So let's do one step at a time. And let's do it ourselves, actually. Or actually, we can have Claude Code do it. So let me switch to accept. Do the first step yourself. Do not do anything else. So git init, I don't know if it ran it because I can see main branch at the bottom. So maybe it ran it before. We need to do a proper git ignore. We're not gonna commit or push anything. Next up, create a proper .git ignore that excludes all of the .env and .env local files and anything else sensitive in our code base. Do not do anything else. Just create this safe and secure .git ignore file. Ultra thing. You don't want to commit your environment variables. I mean, we can see that those are already not committed, but we still want to create a very proper git ignore. What's happening here? Just like, okay, yes, it doesn't exist anymore. Okay, so this doesn't exist anymore. So I'm going to launch a new Claude Code. And I'm going to launch the researcher on that. I'm going to give this as a back context. I'm going to do back context. Boom. / back context. Use, and then I'm going to tag the researcher. Agent web research validator. There we go. Agent web research validator to figure out the proper way to solve this. -D. So let me show you how sub-agents work, right? So it's gonna delegate to the sub-agent. Boom, there we go. This is how it looks, right? When it's the color we chosen, so now it's blue. And yeah, basically the sub-agent will do its thing. So this is a web research agent, and it will figure out what to do. what is the issue? I mean, the issue is, again, a version mismatch. We're using a function that doesn't exist anymore in v5. So I think Vercel AI SDK massively changed stuff in the v5, which is not in the training data of these models. Okay, see, even the 2024, that's very bad. It's like searching stuff as 2024, even though it's August of 2025. Yikes. Okay, so let's approve this git ignore. So as you can see, I'm running 3 different Claude codes doing different things, but we're still on track. We're still building the same project. So this is where like your own skill set as a human, you have to be locked in. You cannot get distracted, right? You cannot get overwhelmed. If you do get overwhelmed, stick with one Claude code. Okay, we have the git ignore in the root. Okay, so I'm gonna say, good. What is the next step? -d, plan mode. Okay, so we need to copy the repository URL. There we go. Code, let's copy that. And I'm gonna make this a public repo, so you can just take this. Here's the URL. What is the next step? Okay, so I'm gonna do don't ask anything for web search commands because those are safe. I don't want it to be like asking me every single web search. Okay, so we need to add the remote origin. Let's approve that. So Claude Code is gonna run this command. Git remote add origin, boom. It's like ready for the next step, you know. What is the next step? Okay, this guy's still doing web search. What I can do is I can do this. We're gonna double check it with Perplexity. Boom. Let's separate this. Deep research on that. So we need to stage all files and do a commit. I agree with that. You need to enjoy your first commit. You know, it's like a legendary step in any project, really. There we go. Wait. Is this only doing... Did you also stage... Wait, that's a problem. Unit. So this has its own Git repository. Explain that node a bit more. What are the implications of that? And should we remove that separate git init from CRM app? I want everything to be a mono repo. Yeah, so I guess before when we were running Claude Code, it initialized a separate repo inside of the CRM app. Okay, let's delete that git file. Okay, I'm gonna say run a quick git status to confirm all is good. We don't want to delete any actual files. Sometimes you have to be careful when deleting like the cached representations of files that are not committed. Let's see what the web search guy did. So fetch content. Okay, well, I mean, yeah, that's kind of your job, researcher. Sometimes it's faster to do Perplexity deep research, right? So let's see. The v5 method has changed to okay, so I'm gonna copy this. Git status. Okay, let's go back here. I'm gonna say results. Boom. Above are the latest web search results about this issue. Give me a TLDR and think hard about what the next step should be in terms of us fixing this issue. Think harder, answer in short. Boom. Okay. Good. Do the push. We need to push it. So now if we go to our GitHub, so we have nothing here, but when it pushes, okay, so we need to set main branch as main. Yes, proceed. Oh, we have some issues. Let's see what's the issue. Oh yeah, because we initiated with some default files on GitHub. So now if we reload, we should have our own folder structure in here, and we can do proper commits. And I can now do a triple check to ensure no sensitive files such as .env or .env.local are being tracked by Git. Never hurts to double check. Okay, so we'll say good, now execute this fix. Also, we should create a license and like give it like an MIT license. Okay, let's approve this. So you can see I'm managing like multiple Claude codes without any issues, and that counts with skill. Say good. Now, does our project have a license right now? Oh, let's research that. Fixed, so this should be fixed. Let me check if this is okay. Let's see what happens in our app. Reload, send a message, hey, invalid prompt. It must be a model message, so we're probably breaking some types, I don't know. We will find it out. We'll find out what's the issue. Here is what the console returns now. Also, we should give it the terminal, right? And here is the backend terminal. Command J to open the terminal right here. Explain what is going on, -E. The project does not have a license. Okay, I'm gonna say, in that case, create a new one and make it the most open source and permissive license. I think MIT license will be good. I mean, you guys can take this project and continue upon it. Okay, let's agree with that. And then we can use actually my push to GitHub command to push it. Push, I'm gonna push to GitHub, and we're gonna push this license to GitHub, and we'll see that inside of GitHub, this will appear on the right, somewhere here. So it's gonna stage the files. You can see, you can actually not show this repo. Close repository. We just want to see the main one. So now if we reload, let me see. There we go, MIT license on the top right. Amazing. Yeah, there's a lot of issues with the v5 change of the Vercel SDK. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a new research. Tell me everything I need to know about v5 of the Vercel AI SDK. I'm facing a lot of different errors because my app is in v4. So please list out all of the main differences. Be detailed. Okay. Maybe we should have used the official Anthropic API just because I'm more familiar with that one, but it is what it is. We're going to create a new docs file. I'll say, let's start by creating a new MD file in our docs folder. Name it v5 Vercel sdk.md. We need to document all this shit. We're getting way too many errors for the simplicity of this. And seems like the really root issue here is that, again, the outdated outdated training data of the AI models. So they have a knowledge cutoff in 2024, and they don't know about this v5 version. So I'm just gonna add this. Boom, refresh it completely. And I'm gonna say, we can actually push that to GitHub as well. I update that file myself. Let's push that to GitHub. Okay. You can close this. I'll say, now read v5 and tell me how to properly fix the last error we were facing. Answer in short, ultra think. So now we can actually do a queued command. Boom, if you hit enter, you can send the next message in advance. But the problem is that you cannot do it if there's like a bug, Claude Code bug. If I did it like after this part, right, when I did git add and it staged all the files, it would not work because then it's running other terminal commands. You need to do it when it's running the last terminal command, which sometimes you don't know if it's going to do more, but you kind of need to feel it out. Okay, so we need to convert UI message to model message. Okay, now execute this fix like a 10x engineer would. See, like with Claude Code and Perplexity, these combos are matched. You can actually build anything. Like anytime you get stuck, you just do a Perplexity deep research. Boom, you learn all of the info, you learn all the latest practices, and you also keep improving your Claude Code setup, right? So this is like the beauty of having your own sub-agents, your own commands, your own hooks. You keep improving it, you keep customizing it for yourself, and every week, literally like every day almost, you just are faster. So this compounds like crazy. Not only do you compound your own skill set, the AI tools are getting better, and your own like workflows, your own prompts, your own commands, sub-agents, hooks are getting better. So you have like 3 different things compounding at the same time, and that's where you just become unstoppable. So people who are on the cutting edge of AI right now, and who stay on the cutting edge, in 6 months, in 12 months, it'll be like unrecognizable with people who are just like flirting with AI, you know. They understand it's important, they understand like it's gonna, you know, be a big thing, but like they're not all in. So if you're watching this, the best decision you can make, be all in about AI. Be at the cutting edge. Do whatever it takes, because you are gonna save so much time. You're gonna automate all of the boring shit in your life. You're gonna give massive leverage to every single hour of work you do. What is going on here? We're getting some route, multiple errors. Okay, that's not good at all. I'm gonna interrupt that. I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna switch to new Claude Code. Why is this guy so stuck? Okay, whatever. I'm gonna reset this guy. Clear. I'll say problem, read v5, and propose a simple and targeted fix. Okay, ultra thing. So this might be corrupted, so I'm going to do compact here. This is like too long, you know, this Claude Code channel. Even here we can do /compact. So we're going to compact these two conversations, and let's proceed right here. We need to get this working, like this is crazy. And again, a lot of this is because I chose a tech stack I'm not familiar with. I'm not using the Versal AI SDK. For my startup, I'm just going straight to source. But yeah, I thought this would save us time and actually didn't, because there's a massive version change in Versal AI SDK when they move to v5, which the models are not aware of. So yeah, we should have done even more research at the start. Okay, these are being compacted. Let's see what's happening. Okay, so the main problem is that v5 introduced different message formats for frontend and backend. Frontend uses use chat, backend expects model message. Well, that's unfortunate. Okay, it should be simple. Here I say I want to do like create a new claude.md file in CRM app and make it specialized to Next.js. You can have actually multiple nested Claude.md files in different folders in your code base. And anytime Claude Code is working in those, it's gonna like insert those into the main system prompt. So this is really where context engineering gets crazy. We have a root one, right? So we have Claude.md on the root level, but you can have a Claude.md file in, well, actually, wait, we have one already there. We have one there. I thought it's at the root level, but it's in this folder. So we should probably have one in like the components folder or something. Whatever. But you get the point. You can have multiple nested Claude.md files in different folders. So like, you know, when working with the docs, you should behave this way. When working with the components, you should behave this way. When working with the API, you should behave this way. And if you have, like, okay, let's create one here. I think that's good. Claude.md, boom. Update Claude.md, write this one so that it has proper instructions and knowledge about the entire API folder. Keep the system prompt concise. Okay, so fix applied. Let's see. Is our app working? Let me send a message. Hey. Field requires schema. I'll put schema. We're progressing because we're having different errors, but we're still running into errors. Might be again a no. It's not a back. Okay, well, that's interesting. We're probably okay. Stream message was created. Wait. Let's see what's happening. We're making progress though. I feel like we're probably 1 or 2 errors away. Fix it. Look at the screenshot to understand our front-end console. Copy this latest backend stuff. Here is the backend output. Explain to me what is going on. -E. So yeah, let's approve this. We're gonna create a dedicated. Continue. We're gonna create a dedicated Claude.md folder right here. So it's empty right now, and not folder, prompt file, MD file. It's empty right now, but in a few seconds, we should see. So yeah, first it understood the entire API folder. Now it's gonna have it in here. So anytime Claude Code is working in this API folder, it's gonna have good knowledge and good understanding of it and what needs to be done. Amazing. And I'm gonna do / push to GitHub. Prepare this. Boom, we're gonna push this to GitHub. Let's go here, our fixed work, new error. Okay. Since this is another v5 issue, give me write a single concise, single paragraph about the info we need from search on the web to get the latest docs. Format this like an expert researcher. Okay, actually, we can use the system that we have. Read web search validator to understand how to format a single paragraph. Do not do anything else. Just give me the search query. Since we already know how the latest practice is, we can just utilize that. Boom, boom. Let me clean this up. Okay, there we go. We have a detailed search query, so let's run that. I mean, look, it probably knows the fix, but a lot of times it doesn't hurt to check with the web. I'm gonna paste it in, results. I'll say, first off, add a concise summary of these search results into v5. We're gonna keep building this this markdown file, and then think hard about the proper fix to the error we are facing. So first we need to improve our context engineering, and then I'm interested in making the fix. That's how you like reduce errors in the future, right? You build up your internal documentation, you understand what's happening, you create files that are reusable, that you can tag. That is like the long-term play. Short-term play would just be pasting in the perplexity results and say, fix this, right? Maybe that works, but it's a hit or miss, and you're not really improving your code base. Okay, let's approve this plan. See that this gets pushed to GitHub. It did. That's good. No unstaged changes. Okay, so it updated the markdown file with the most essential info. So now basically this file is becoming more and more powerful. Anytime we tag it in the future, it will have more info about the v4, v5 differences. So any error we check, any error we run into, we can quickly check, is it a v5 migration issue? If it is, it will get solved because we have the documentation in that file. So basically we're just we're making our own code base more powerful and more well documented. So we don't have to do the same deep researches all over. We can just do one deep research, create proper documentation about it, and then never have to do it again. All right, so it seems like it's done. Let's see if my theory about being 1 or 2 errors away is correct. I'm gonna clear up the terminal as well. Restart this, npm run dev. Boom, reload the app, actually. Localhost, there we go. Open the console right here. Hey. Send. Okay, wait. No error. Are we getting AI response? Oh my god. Okay, so we don't... There's an issue with the text rendering, but I think we have a response somewhere. Look at this. It did streaming. So wait. This is crazy. We might be here. I'm going to copy the whole backend. Okay. I'm going to do backend. This is like printing the use chat for every single token. That's kind of annoying. Whatever. Look at the screenshot. Looks like we are getting the token stream. However, our UI is shit, so we are not properly rendering the user message nor the AI message. Investigate how why am I typing this? Investigate why the text isn't being displayed in the message bubbles properly, and think hard about what the issue is. And think about how a senior developer would fix it. The fewer lines of code, the better. With the ultra thing right here. So this is an issue, maybe the same issue as with the user message not being rendered in the bubble. I think we are getting the tokens from Anthropic API. Maybe this is another like UI message v5bs. Oh, it's doing web search. No. Do not do web search. Instead, tell me how to search this up on the web. Follow search prompt. Answer in short. Look, this web search is not that good inside of Claude Code. It doesn't compare to Perplexity Deep Research, I'm going to be honest. So that's why it's better to just do it yourself. Let's see again what the issue is. Backend is working. Screenshot, use screenshot panel. But yeah, we're not rendering the tokens. Okay, so it probably found the issue already, but we will confirm that, the results of this. Here are the web results. Give me a TLDR explanation of what they're saying and continue with your investigation of this issue. Sometimes like it has a tendency to overthink, so here it probably should be pretty simple. It's another v5 issue. And actually I'm going to document that as well. So this Claude Code, I'm going to do v5, paste this in, v5. Read this web search result and think hard about which information we don't already have in the v5 Vercel markdown file. Start by reading the MD file for v5 Vercel SDK, and then think about which of these new search results we don't have there and what should we add there so that our documentation is more complete. Think hard, answer in short. So one Claude Code is thinking about how to fix this, another one is improving our docs. Okay, so another v5 issue, that's crazy. Yeah, so this was basically a bad, I don't want to say it was a bad like tech stack decision, but maybe we should have done more research. Especially given the fact that, you know, it depends what is in the knowledge cutoff and what isn't. If it's something is in the training data of these AI models, they're much better, right? Like they have a really good knowledge of Python 3 that has been around for years. But this Vercel AI SDK has been updated recently. Okay, so let's see, this is a bug again, it scrolls you all the way up. Okay, let's approve this so it's improving our docs. It doesn't affect the functionality. Switch to our app. Oh! Wait a second, we've gotten the response. I need to do again. Hello. No. It was just working. What do you mean? It was just working. What went wrong? What went wrong? That's crazy. 1 second. Hey. Uncode in promise. What? I just saw the message. I think you guys saw it as well, so I'm not going crazy. But wait. Hopefully this Claude Code didn't change anything. Oh no, okay, it's the MD file. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. It was just working. I saw the output message, but now we are getting error again. Read the screenshot -e opus plan mode. Okay, this is good. We can push this to GitHub. This documentation changes. It's fine. So this file is growing. It's already what? Almost 300. It's fine. Okay, I'm gonna add this so it doesn't have to ask every time that has been pushed to GitHub. Okay, I'm gonna do a follow-up search on this. I don't trust this. Normal search. In the Vercel AI SDK in v5. Tell me how send message works completely. Everything about it. Okay, I want to know everything about send message. Here's the official docs. Implement a clean and minimal fix. More info about v5. Add this into the MD file as well. Be concise. Okay, so we're extending this. What's happening here? Okay, so let's test again. Hey. Okay, message sticks. There we go. It's being reasoned. Amazing. Okay. Create a new contact in our CRM. We don't have to print this shit. This is very inefficient. On every single character I type in, it's doing a print. Name, John Doe. Email, example, john@example.com. Oh, there it is. Look at this. Contact. There we go. So now it created contact and it knew that it needed the email as well. So not only, see, like I told you, we were like 1 or 2 errors away, so I could feel it. This is hundreds. I think I have like well over 1,000 hours if we combine Cursor and Claude Code building with AI. So I can feel when we're close. And yeah, we fixed the streaming and it was already working. So now it can save contacts in our CRM. Obviously, there's a lot more we can do to build upon this To finish it, it's not like a 1-hour project. This will be a multi-day project to make it really good. But we have the basis, right? This is the basis of AI-powered CRM. So what I'm going to do push to GitHub, stage all files, and push this fix to GitHub. Boom, beautiful. So again, you guys can take this, you can fork it, you can build upon it. But yeah, maybe it's good that I chose the fucking Versal AI SDK so that we see the issues with Claude Code and how we can fix them, right? And how I work with Perplexity to get the latest documentation of the deep research, and how I'm building my own sub-agents or commands or hooks, how I'm using them, how I'm adding stuff to settings.json to speed up my workflow with the save commands and stuff like that. Yeah, there's a lot you can do to improve your Claude Code workflow and to become a 10x Claude Code developer. So again, if you want me to make you a custom Claude Code setup for any use case or goal you want to do, right? You want to build a SaaS, you want to build a startup, you want to build an agency, you want to build internal AI agents to automate stuff, doesn't matter. Whatever you want to do, if you join the new society during the month of August, you will receive a custom Claude Code setup with sub-agents, commands, hooks, prompts, the main Claude MD context file, and the settings JSON. Basically everything you need to be a top 1% Claude Code user. So again, New Society is going to be the first link below the video. Make sure to join. This offer is only available during August. With that being said, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you found this video helpful. And I wish you a wonderful, productive week. See ya.